Praise the Lord. My dear brothers and sisters, today let us reflect on the Gospel of St. Luke chapter 18 verses 9 to 14. In the verse 12, we see the Pharsee in the parable of Jesus saying, I fast twice a week, I give tithes of all that I get. The life of this man is really impressive. Fasting twice a week, giving 10% of all his income. How many of us would dare to live like this? It takes a lot of willpower, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of effort. And yet, God is not pleased with him. Why? Because he attributes to his work an efficiency that they do not have. He believes that he is saved by his own merits. He considers God only as a kind of accountant who controls his efforts and merits to give him the reward he deserves. That is, he puts his security not in the goodness and mercy of God, but in his own works. God is not for him the source of salvation. He does not need him to be good. It is enough for him to be alone. Let's ask ourselves, do I find any of these Pharisaic attitudes in me? Somehow we all are Pharisees. That is why the parable of Jesus is addressing to each one of us. We are Pharisees, for example, when we plead before God to obtain some favors with certain conditions. We are Pharisees when we consider ourselves better than others. If we are sincere, we must acknowledge that more than once we have given thanks to God inwardly for not being like this or that. And we have felt a certain satisfaction as if it were our own merit. Let's ask ourselves, are we sincere enough at least to recognize our Pharisaic attitudes? And in the verse 13 we find God's pleasing, humble prayer of the tax collector. God, be merciful to me, a sinner. The tax collectors collected tax from their own fellow men for the Roman Empire. With all corruptions and with all injustice, without any mercy. Really, that man had an unpresentable biodata. Totally opposite to that of the Pharisee. And yet, he is the one who earns God's favor. Why? Because he puts God in his place. He acknowledges God as the only one who can forgive and who can save. And he prayed with all his humility that made God to please in his prayer. Let's ask, in what do I put my trust? In the goodness of God or in my own merits? And in the verse 14, Jesus says, I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. Let us see how that man returns home calm, healed, happy, transformed. He's a new man. What did he do to achieve this result? Just one thing, humbly acknowledged his sin. Nothing more. Why do we not make it our own? God's pleasing prayer of the tax collector as our own. God, be merciful to me, a sinner. Saint Teresa and many other saints repeatedly prayed with these words of the tax collector, Lord, have mercy on me, a sinner. And let us also make our own the supplication of the psalmist. We have expressed in the psalm, have mercy on me, O God, in your kindness, in your compassion, blot out my offenses. This will be beautiful prayer that we can repeat at any time of our life. God bless you.